All right, everybody, we're here with head football coach, Coach Sonny Cumby. Coach, it's been a while since the UTEP game. If you just want to put a final bow on that and jump into Kennesaw and preview what we can expect to see this weekend from your team.
You know, it's our football team has really turned our attention on Kennesaw, a really good football team playing their fourth straight home game. You know, they've won 3 in a row at home. Going for their 4th straight at home. And so Coach Jerry Mack's done a great job with that program. They have 44 transfers. I think if you look at them from an offensive standpoint, Mitch Militello, their offensive coordinator, been at Tennessee. He's been with Josh Heupel really since Heupel was at Missouri. And it's very, when you watch them on film, wide splits, they play with great tempo. You know, they return really one player from last year's team on offense, and that's number 1, Gabe Binyard. And he's arguably their best football player on their team. Does a great job in the punt return game. They get in the ball, whether they toss it to him, they throw it to him. So we have to have an awareness of where he's at, you know, at all times. And they've done a great job. Their quarterback, Amari Odom, is very elusive. I think that he throws a deep ball with great accuracy. And I think he's very poised. He makes a lot of plays with his feet. Their running backs are difficult to tackle. Coleman Bennett, number 0, a transfer from Rice. They all run downhill. They're all backs. They're all very similar in terms of their big physical guys, their vertical run game. They do a good job of running through tackles. So, you know, again, for us, tackling well, you know, playing great defense in space is going to be a premium. Their offensive line, I think, is really playing well. Brandon Best is a physical offensive lineman that's came to him from Georgia Tech. And so from an offensive standpoint, you know, the last 2 games at the end of the first quarter, they were up. They'd scored 21 points. They start very fast. They play with tempo. So it'll be a great challenge for us on defense. And I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. You know, defensively, you watch a team that plays defense really together. I think they fly to the football. They're very physical. You know, one of their best linebackers is the twin brother of Binyard, and number 7. Number 44, Baron Hobson, 2nd in the conference in tackles. So they have guys that are very productive. Their corner, Caleb Offord, was the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week last week, number 2. He had 4 tackles, tackle for loss on a screen play in the flat. And he also had a pass breakup on the last play of the game against Middle Tennessee to ensure the victory for those guys on a 4th down play, 4th and 11. So he's a kid that makes a lot of plays, played a lot of football at Alabama State. Jericho Washington, corner number 1, played for him last year, was a really good player, 2nd team all-conference. And so they have a lot of firepower. They have a lot of athleticism. Their defensive line, they play probably really nearly 9 to 10 players, and they play very hard. They're very disruptive in the line games. Their defensive ends, I think when they, in 3rd down situations, they rush the passer very well. And so it's a team that's very good on special teams as well. I think you see the athleticism of any team. It's how they play on special teams, and Coach Mack has his team playing very hard. So we're excited about the challenge on Thursday night. You know, for us, everything in terms of our practice and our prep, this is a Wednesday for us. So we're looking at it from that standpoint, you know, of having a winning practice today. All those things being said, you know, the most important thing for us is to really have a great day of preparation today, and to make sure that we get ourselves in the great frame of mind to try to stay undefeated in conference play, because that's our goal. There's 4 teams left, and at the end of the game, you know, whenever we play, we want to still remain as one of those teams, and it's going to take our best. I think the one thing is just the rest. For us to rest. You know, I think the other thing is offense is very arithmetic. And so for our guys to get rest, to get fresh in terms of running, top end speed, and to go out and to practice with great intent and to get better. And so that's what we've done this week.
How important was it to have the bye week, you know, coming up when this game's on Thursday, where you can have a short week versus that next long 18-day press days?
You know, I think our October sets up great as long as we use the time that we have in a way to get ourselves better. And so we have a game. We don't play again for another, I don't know, 9 or 10 days. We don't play again for another 9 or 10 days. So right now here today, it sounds great, you know. And so hopefully we use that time and our energy to invest in ourselves and being the best version of ourselves as a football team, which I think these guys have. And so we'll continue to do that. At the end of this month, you know, we'll look back on it and see how our plans went. But I think we have a great plan for this month. I think the schedule sets up really well because we play only one of these midweek games on the road. The other 2 are at home, and those are a big difference because the thing about midweek games is we leave on Wednesday. Well, our kids miss all day on school on Wednesday. They miss all day school on Thursday. And this school is really hard here at Louisiana Tech. The classes move fast, and it's a difficult challenge for our players. And that's some of the things that when you look into these midweek games, the impact that it has on our kids from a classroom standpoint, it only adds to the stress and the burdens that they have to bear on a daily daily basis. But they're up to it, and we've got a great plan for that. And so I think that our kids have done a great job handling so far. But I think when you can get a rest and you get a chance to catch your breath, which our players have, I think sometimes from a football standpoint, again, when you think about a bye week does not equal off for our players. I mean, they have to go to school. They've got workouts. They've got study hall. So there's a lot of requirements that our kids have to do in this time. And so they've handled it really well. And I think by the way they practice and the speed that they've practiced at really all week has really shown that they've been able to really rest their minds and their bodies from a mental standpoint, because we practiced very fast this week.
Do you expect Trey and Cedric to play this week?
I do.
For you guys, I mean, coming off a couple of wins and everything, how important is it? I mean, you mentioned it in the Northern Game saying, keeping up the speed and everything, but, on the line or whatever, I'm saying, I don't know if you would look, but a lot of people and fans have you guys as one of the favorites to, because not to the championship or anything like that. I know you guys have that expectation yourself, but, with the momentum you guys have, getting through October, what are you going to learn about your team in these next couple of games? Do you need to prove, for them to prove to you as a coach, I guess, that you guys have the ability, that you guys want to top team in the conference?
Yeah, now good, bad, or indifferent, don't look at it. Don't pay any attention to it. The biggest thing that we have to do is have a great day of prep today. We've got 7 more games left. It's a really long season. We're going to look up at the end of October and have 4 games left. It's funny because it's a long season, but it goes by really quick. And we're going to look up at the end of this month, and we'll have 4 games left. And we want to make sure that we maximize. This football team I believe, irregardless of any performance they put on the field, this is probably the most special football team that I've ever been a part of. And it has to do with who they are as people, the fight they have, I think how they have each other's back, just the chemistry and camaraderie, like I've said all year, of this group is really, really special. And you get going through a season and you're so task oriented about the next opponent that you do have to take time to really be grateful for the players and the people, more of the people that you're around in this team room, because ultimately, we have 108 players roughly, and we travel with 70. And really the only thing that I feel like will bring our team down is really anything that we let inside this room. And so we're really focused on making sure that we're focused on ourselves. We're focused on being our best version of ourselves every single day. And so we've been able to do that so far. And it's a hard challenge. It's easy to talk about it here, but our kids, I think, there's a maturity to them. It's a challenge every day, but that's the biggest thing that with this season and how it's gone so far that I've taken is, man, I'm just so appreciative of these players, but for who they are, how they approach it, because the thing about them, man, they love football, and they love football. They love to work. They don't blink. Now we've got to continue to play at a high level. Got to play better on offense. Got to finish games better on defense and special teams, so we can live into what we feel like we can be as a football team.
Defensive line production, what's just kind of your assessment? Obviously, a lot of guys came into the portal, a lot of new faces. What's been your assessment of their production?
Man, I'm really proud of that group. I mean, I think that's the group that I got asked the question the most about all summer, all fall camp is what are we going to do at D-line? Because and understandably, and that's fair because there's a lot of new faces. But you can't put a cap on what those kids have done, what Coach Randolph has done, Coach Carter Foster, those guys. I mean, there's not a minute on our trip, a minute during the course of the week that we're allowed to where they're not trying to get better and they're not preparing, they're not making themselves better football players. And I think the strength of that group is the group, in terms of being able to play. We play a lot of guys on our D-line, and I think that allows those guys to be really fresh. I think it allows them to be playmakers, and I think that they are a really, a confident group, but also a humble group and understanding, like, what is my job, my role on this call? And sometimes my role on this call is to take 2. Sometimes my role in this call is maybe to take 3. And the opportunity where I take 1, then I better make sure I win that 1. And so those guys do it with great tenacity. And Coach Randolph sets the standard and the tone with that group. And so far they've had a lot of production that you can chart, but also a lot more production that you don't get to chart, in terms of the stats. And those guys have played really hard. And we're going to need them continue to rise up. And I think that I've seen a lot of transformation and progression in those groups, in those guys, since spring. And that's really, what you want at every position. But that's what's fun is you get to see the development and you get to see players get better. And they've done that.
Who have you seen step up on that defensive side of the ball, that leadership role since Kobe got injured during the week? vocally at practices and everything?
It really, I think Chief, you think of Chief, you think of Makai Mason, you think of Mike, Jakari, Jacob Fields. I think it's one of those things where everybody just is going to elevate, in terms of being better, as in terms of our production, in terms of how we play. And although he's not on the field from a physical presence, I mean, he's in the training room right now. He's going to be in our meetings this week and next week, and we'll travel. And Colby will continue to be a leader from his role. Judd Rouillet is going to continue to be a leader from his role in that D-line. And this is a group, again, that I think that, one of the things that you see is other guys elevate their game from a production standpoint and how they play, but I think also you see guys grow and mature now in their leadership, and I think that we undoubtedly have those guys. And I think defensively we faced adversity in the New Mexico State game in the second quarter. I can distinctly remember that, and I remember at halftime, those guys, defensively we came back out and played a great second half, and we faced a huge amount of adversity, from the standpoint of losing one of your key members of your team in a lot of ways in the middle of a game. And then I do believe we went on maybe a 24-0 run after that. And so I think that our kids, man, when faced with challenges, these guys rise up, and I expect that there'll be several guys that'll be able to do that.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Next up, we've got quarterback Blake Baker. If everyone's ready, we can go ahead and open up for questions.
During this bye week, what did the offense really prioritize as far as fixing?
Kind of just getting our legs back underneath us, getting fresh, and just kind of putting the game plan into this week and just executing it and playing fast and fixing the kind of the little things that didn't go right in that UTEP game and just overcoming adversity.
The turnovers haven't been a huge issue for this offense up until that game. I guess when you look back through some of those mistakes, like what do you feel like kind of can allow you guys, I guess, to overcome those moving forward so they're not continuing like this?
Yeah, just kind of certain times where when it's time to make a play and maybe just not necessarily forcing a ball or, putting the ball away and when it's in harm's way, and kind of just growing up as a quarterback and as a player and just overcoming that.
What's your confidence level right now? As we just mentioned, where you're not really turning the ball over, but it's not like you guys are putting up 40 points a game. So just from a quarterback perspective, trying to control the game, but you're not, from the offense side of the ball, it's not putting up a ton of points. So what's your confidence level, just, you and your playmakers right now?
Oh, it's at the roof. I believe in every single guy on this team. I believe in every single playmaker, every receiver we have, every tight end. I believe in the O-line. I believe in the receivers and the running backs, and everyone can make plays. It's just that time will come when it comes.
You go back and look at the fade ball to you line and so like I said, what specifically about that play do you feel like you put your end?
I could have put it out there a little bit more. Me and Eli just got to get on the same page in that fact, and we fixed it and we moved on.
This will be your second conference road start. What did you take away from that first game at UTEP, just playing on the road?
Just kind of different environment, different pregame kind of scenarios and stuff. Fans don't necessarily like you, and it's just what you got to do on the road.
You guys, obviously, coming into the season, the defense was expected to be really good as it is. And in the offense, you guys need to just kind of maintain the game and don't lose the game. Your defense is going to be there like they were against UTEP. Any sort of pressure that you guys put on yourself to, help the defense out even more so, knowing the fact that they're going to be there for you guys, throughout the game?
Not necessarily pressure, but we would like to help more, but the most important job is winning games, and that's what we're here to do, and that's what we're going to do.
What have you seen and taken from Kennesaw State's defense that you guys can take advantage of, or that might cause issues?
They're a really physical group. They got a lot of players. It's a completely different team from last year. Their D-line's physical, their linebackers physical, they got big corners. But there is opportunities in that defense to make plays.
So they anticipate that Trey's going to be able to play this week. I guess what will that add back to this offense, just knowing you guys can kind of go back to that new quarterback system?
Yeah, it just gives kind of defense is a different struggle, you know, because you got two different guys, similar playing styles, but yet unique at the same time. And, yeah, it just brings different assets of the game out.
More questions?
Thank you.
All right, Blake, thanks. Back Jacob Fields, when he's ready, we can go ahead and open up for questions.
Jacob, I guess obviously, they said they're moving on from the UTEP game, but obviously when you lose a leader like Colby, I guess just how does this defense rally around him in that moment and moving forward? Yes.
Colby's a great leader for our team. Anything he says, we'll all get behind him. We'll fight for each other. That's the same how it goes for everybody else in the defensive side of the ball. So all it takes is just the next guy stepping up, saying something, being more vocal, leading by example, and we're still going to do what we do.
Watching tape on Kennesaw State, I mean, do you think you just have that same sort of, obviously, huge momentum from the UTEP game? Just what do you see from them that can allow you guys to, you know, do something similar?
I mean, we're a confident football team, confident defense. Anybody we step on the field with, like, we're not gonna shy away from the competition. They're good football players. Like, they have really good receivers, good running backs, great quarterback. Their O-line's good. It's just gonna come down to us executing and playing physical.
You mentioned you guys are playing with a lot of confidence. How do you make sure that confidence doesn't turn into like being content with like where you guys have like already proven you can be? Like, how do you kind of maintain that standard? Like, you guys have already shown success.
I think the confidence just spreads throughout the whole defense, really. Like, that's just who we are as people. And we strive just to get better each and every day. We hold each other accountable. We got a thing like hands on the hips when you're tired. Like, we don't do that. Like, you see that, a player will come knock his hands off his hips. Like, each and every day, the little things, like, we're always making sure, like, we're getting better and we're striving for greatness.
You and Mike and Jakari, that's the whole safety room really is just made a lot of plays on the ball this year. I guess, like, what has allowed that aggressive mentality, I guess, to really translate? We've heard so much about it in the offseason, but it's one thing obviously to go improve it on the field, which really has allowed that to happen.
It started with Coach Olsen. Like, his mindset coming into the spring was take it. Like, when the ball's in the air, it's ours. Like, it's not the receivers. And then the next part of that is Coach Carter. He has us prepared throughout the week, just pass concepts and just different ways to play it, or maybe even bait a QB into throwing the ball that we want him to throw to be able to make a play on the ball. So it just starts with being prepared and then just knowing that when the ball's in the air, like, we have to go get it.
You and a few others lead the team in solo tackles at 15. I think we're third in total tackles and everything. Just how have you, continue to get better, from season to season and so far this year?
Just getting better. I would say I just take it day by day. Like, there's been a few times, or maybe even a few games or times or plays in a game where I'm just too anxious to go and try to make a play, and I get out my game or I'm on my body. But like, taking it play by play, day by day, and just knowing you're prepared and like you're ready for the moment, that ultimately just like gives you a boost to make extra plays. So
All right, Jacob, thanks for talking.
appreciate you.
Appreciate it.